Alright, what is good, ladies and gentlemen, is the Mass Ranker back again with another ranking, and tonight we are doing a ranking for all of the Gravity Falls characters. That's right, we reviewed the show, now we're doing a character ranking as usual. And so yeah, I think I included, before I begin, I think I included pretty much every notable character that was in the show. There's probably like some side characters here or there that I may have missed. Just assume they're probably D/F tier. I'll add in D/F tier. Yeah, so let us just begin, starting off with Abuelita. I should have probably actually pulled up I'll do that now, let me see here. Gravity Falls behind the voice actors. Yeah, just so that I have the names pulled up of the characters, any ones that I may forget. However, I think most of the characters in this show are pretty memorable, I would say. So anyway, Abuelita, I would give her probably D/F tier, not to, just, you know, Zeus's grandma, or Abuelita, I think that means grandma, so not too much of an important character, just D/F tier. This is Agents, I think this one's called Trigger, this one is called, I don't remember his name, let me see here. Okay, actually, I don't know how helpful this site's going to be because there are a lot of side characters, so it is a bit, we can do here, maybe Control F, Agents, here, Agent Powers, yeah. I would give probably, I don't really care for either of them. This one's voiced by Nick Offerman, which is pretty cool, but I don't really care for either of them, so we're just going to put them in D/F tier. Bill Cipher. I'm going to give Bill Cipher definite S tier, I would say. Very, very great villain. He's literally, I haven't mentioned it up to this point, but you should probably have noticed, he is, yes, my icon for the channel. I was wondering what I should use for the icon of the channel, and I was like, okay, I want it to be something kind of unique, and so I used to do recolors. I want to get back to doing it at some point. I used to like taking characters, like pictures of characters, and I used to like doing recolors for them. And so I think the Bill Cipher one was actually the very first one I did. It's like the most basic of all the recolors I think I did, where basically I just kind of did it a bit Christmas themed, of like the red and the green and stuff. But anyway, I'm getting a bit off topic. Yeah, he's the poster of the channel, and I did also, the hat is a bit inspired by him as well. So I do owe this character, I do owe a lot of credit to a lot of the, I guess, style of this channel in a way. And yeah, I like Bill Cipher. He's a very just entertaining villain, very unique, I would say. Just this pyramid with an eye that is extremely powerful, very manipulative towards the people that he talks to. He tricked Ford, he ended up tricking Dipper, and I just think that he is a great villain, very fun, very intimidating as well, so solid S tier, I'm going to say. This is Blendin. Yeah, I'm just not going to bother with the side. I think it might just, if anything, make the tier list lag a bit more. So Blendin, I'm going to give him probably, I'll go B tier, he's fine, we'll go B for Blendin. He was alright. He was just the time traveler that would get involved with Dipper and Mabel, well, specifically like in the episode that he is introduced. I think he's actually in previous episodes, like there's like cameos of him in previous episodes if you're paying attention, but in the episode that we're introduced to him, he is, yeah, just any time like he's in an episode, it's just like he's a time travel hijinks kind of stuff that happens, and I think it's entertaining. His character is voiced by the Justin Roiland, who voices Morty from Rick and Morty, and I do know that he got into some controversy, so we're not going to really get into that. But yeah, I would give him probably B tier, I'd say. This is Ivan. This is the dude from the Blind Eye Society. Don't really care for him too much. He is just in the one episode of the Blind Eye Society, and then just he forgets his memories, and so he's just some normal dude after that, so not really that important. Tattoos, just a side character, not that interesting. This guy is Gideon's father. I would give him C tier. He seems like a pretty good businessman, I guess. He is, I guess, supportive of his son to the point where he is willing to help him do bad things, I guess. So reminds me of, I don't know, Kira's dad from JoJo, but yeah, I don't know, he's fine. He has like some good interactions with the Pines families. Just C tier, I'll give him. Candy, I would give her probably we'll go C for Candy. I think Candy was fine. I kind of like Brenda more. She feels more memorable compared to Candy, where Candy is a bit more overshadowed by, I feel like, Brenda and Mabel's like more outgoing personalities, where Candy is a bit more like reserved in her enthusiasm, I feel like. So I'd still give her just C tier. I'd say she's fine. The unicorn, I think that this was a funny episode with the whole like reveal of the this unicorn specifically being like a bad, that like a pretty crappy person of like tricking Mabel into like making her think that she's not like a noble person or whatever. So I'd give the unicorn. The unicorn herself is like not a great person morally, but it was entertaining with the fact of very memorable and entertaining, the sequence of like the reveal of that, like, oh, you don't actually have to be pure of heart for the unicorn to give you their hair. So I'll go C tier, I would say. This is the Manator, I'm pretty sure they're called. I don't really care for them too much, just D/F tier. By the way, certain characters are just meant to be representations of a collective group of characters, similar to, I think, Franz here is meant to represent all of the mini golf dudes or whatever. I think this was a girl I think this girl, and then there was another girl. They are just, they're just these people these girls that Dipper flirted with on his trip around Oregon with Stan and Mabel and her friends. So the purpose of them was just to just like create conflict, and the whole episode was just like Dipper is trying to like learn how to flirt with women after kind of getting over Wendy and stuff. I mean, it's not directly after, it's like later on. Like there's the whole thing that happens with him and Wendy at the beginning of season 2, and then like towards the end, this is like then Dipper and Stan, and they go on their whole like Oregon trip, and then from there he's like trying to practice flirting with girls using Stan's advice, but then it ends up backfiring when they all like find out that he was flirting with more than one person, I guess. So I'm trying to find the other one. There is a third one here that I don't know where she is, but there was a third girl that he flirted with, and I can't hear this one here. Yeah, so all of them, just the purpose is to create conflict. So yeah, whatever. This dude and the other dude, I think one of them is named Zyler and the other one's name is Kevin, I'm pretty sure. These two, I would give them either B or A tier, and I'm going to... Honestly, I'll give them an A tier. I thought they were very entertaining. I'm pretty sure one of them is voiced by the same voice actor that voices a lot of characters. I think Beast Boy from Teen Titans Go, maybe actually also Teen Titans, I'm not sure. Kevin from Ben 10, I don't know, those are the only voices that come to mind, but I do like the voice actor that voices one of them. But both voice actors do a good job, but yeah. So I think they're fun. They're mainly just from like Mabel's imagination, and specifically in the episode where everyone is in like Mabel Land and stuff. These guys like act as her lawyers, so I thought that was entertaining. I give them an A tier. I thought they were pretty cool. This dude is, I forgot his name. For some reason, behind the voice actors, he's named as Cute Biker. That's his name, but I'm pretty sure they actually refer to him as something else. He ends up becoming the mayor of the town. I don't really care for him too much, but you know, he's a bit memorable for like his, I guess. I think he says like certain lines here and there, which I think are well delivered. I would say so. Just see drug him. This is the spider that ended up trying to trick and eat Stan. Don't care for her. She's just in the one episode as like just not too important. This is okay. One of them is named Blubs. The other one is named Durland. I think this is Blubs. Maybe this is Blubs and this is Durland. Let me see here. Gravity Falls cop names. Let's hear. It is Blubs and Durland. Yeah, I would give them probably. They were good. They were pretty entertaining, I would say. I'd put them honestly A tier. Yeah, there's a lot of A tier characters in the show. I do think that there is a very good. I think I may have said like I gave the characters like an actual 7.5 in my review. I only said very good. I think because this show has a lot of good characters, but because of the scope of characters for how many there are, it just kind of like dilutes the quality a bit with just like all these D/F tier characters, which are just not as good as the main characters here. So I probably should have, like, I have to remember that like just because there's a lot of side characters that aren't that important doesn't mean that the actual core cast are, like, I have to try to in the future just make sure to not have the scores be lowered so much by the side characters that are not meant to be as important. So yeah, I would give them A tier. I think that they were pretty entertaining and funny, I would say. Dipper Pines, I would give him probably either B or A tier. Out of all like the main characters, I think that he and Mabel, I don't like them as much as some of the other main characters, I would say. But I would still say that they were, I'll give Dipper like A tier. I think that he was a good lead character. I'll also just like put Mabel now, I guess. Yeah, Mabel, she was also, like, they're the two main characters of the show. They get into all these different situations and stuff, and I think that Dipper, his whole, like, thing is a lot of the time just, like, he is discovering the mysteries of Gravity Falls, or he has a crush on Wendy. With Mabel, it's pretty interesting. I know a lot of people, like, have criticism for Mabel towards the end of the show where they say how she's being kind of selfish, like, with trapping. She's, like, willing to sacrifice the world if it means that she can have her summer keep going. Like, everyone says, like, she's being selfish and stuff. I do feel bad for her because, like, the context behind that is that she, like, her birthday is coming up. She's finding out that, like, high school is not going to be what she thought it was. Like, it's going to be a lot more difficult than she was expecting. Her two best friends can't be there on her birthday, and she finds out that her brother, like, the person that she spent her whole life with, and, like, the only person that was, like, always there for her, he is now going to be staying in Oregon. So it's like a lot of bad news delivered in one day that could definitely do a number on a person, I feel like. So I do feel bad for her more than anything. Like, I don't really have as much, like, I don't blame her as much for her actions. I will say, I don't know. People are like, oh, she's being selfish. It's like she's getting upset at Dipper for leaving. It's like, yeah, it's a bit like, obviously Dipper should be able to choose what he wants to do and stuff, but at the same time, it's like I can understand the frustration that she has and like her reaction because of like all this bad news being delivered all at once. So even so, I think that I think it's like good for the character, I would say. And yeah, besides that, she's like always positive and stuff. And overall, I would give them both A-tier characters. I think that they both work and have good chemistry with a lot of the other characters, but they are, yeah, just A-tier, I would say. Dippy Fresh, don't really care for too much. Just, yeah, we'll go DF for Dippy Fresh, I guess. Yeah, he's meant to be like a joke character that gets introduced and is barely does anything in the actual show itself, so just such a tier. This is one of the time guards from all the time shenanigans that goes on with Blendon here. This is another one. I don't care for either of them. They are, yeah, just, they get involved anytime Blendon is doing something, and it is not that. They honestly, a lot of the characters in the show, they do look like they could be from regular show, honestly. These two look like they can definitely be from regular show, I would say. There's probably some other characters here and there that look like regular show inspired, I would say, so yeah, anyway. This is 8-Ball. He was the main monster besides Bill that I think we got introduced to. I don't really care for him too much. Just these Sledge of Fury is also meant to like represent all the other wacky monsters, which they're fine. They serve their purpose well, but they're not very memorable, I would say. This is the manager of Several Times. I don't care for him too much. He was just bad dude exploiting the boy band. That's just that kind of manager character, not that great, I would say. This is what Seuss imagines his dad to be like since he never actually met him. Don't really care for him too much. It's just meant to be like temptation for Seuss to stay in Mableland, I guess. Ford, I would give Ford probably, I think A-tier. He's not as like consistently entertaining and funny as Grunkle Stan is, not like doing scams and stuff and all that, but he is still very good. I do like the introduction of him, the whole backstory that he has with Grunkle Stan. I think it was very good. And just as an introduction, it's just a great, like, another side to this whole mystery aspect of Gravity Falls, where it's like Grunkle Stan in the first season was very much encapsulated with mystery and stuff, but then it was revealed that he was doing it to find Ford, and then when Ford gets introduced, we start getting like a lot of answers to a lot of the mystery aspects of Gravity Falls and stuff, so I think that is good. The bond he ends up forming, and by the end of the series he ends up like caring for Dipper and Mabel. I thought that was good. He kind of ends up fixing his relationship with his brother Stan, and just overall I think that he is a great a great character to be introduced in season 2, and yeah, just solid A-tier argument. This is meant to represent the golf ball people from the mini golf episode. I don't really care for. I'll go C tier maybe because I did like the conflict of them when they would fight each other. So I don't know, any individual golf ball character I don't really care for. Even the factions I don't really care for as much. But them as like a collective I think are fine. I'm just gonna go C tier, I would say. This is Gabe, the puppet dude that Mabel had a crush on. Out of all Mabel's crushes, this one is like the one I probably like the least, I would say. Yeah, it's just, he's really obsessed with puppets, and that's kind of it, so I don't really, don't care for him too much. This is Ghost Eyes. This was the henchman of Gideon when he was in prison, and I would probably give him, I would see tier. He was fine. He had some like good lines here and there in relation to, I don't know, how great Gideon is or something like that. Ghostface, I like Ghostface a lot. Wasn't he Ghostface? Isn't Ghostface the dude from Scream? I'm pretty sure. Gravity Falls, maybe it was Ghost Axe? Ghost Lumberjack, what was the name? Was it Ghost Axe? Archibald no. Lumberjack Ghost? Oh, maybe, wait, this dude was a corduroy? This dude is related to Wendy? He's not a redhead, so yeah, I wouldn't have known, I guess, but okay. Whatever, the Lumberjack Ghost, whatever you want to call him, I would give him probably, I liked him, I thought he was pretty cool, I'd give him like B tier. First of all, this design is, I don't know if you can see it that well, because it's like, the shot of him is a bit, kind of like, it's a bit like, not the best shot, but let me see here. Gravity Falls Lumberjack Ghost. This looks like a villain straight out of Cuphead. And like out of all the character designs in Gravity Falls, I think this might be my favorite. Like this, just the beard with the flames and the mustache and stuff, the ghost style of it all, the axe like on his head, I think it just works really well. And I think that this dude actually absolutely could be a character from Cuphead. So yeah, a lot of like this show very much like regular show Cuphead. Like this show has like a lot of, I'm not gonna say artistic inspiration because I think that this came out probably before some of those properties. Like I think Cuphead came out after Gravity Falls did. So yeah, but this show's art style kind of like reminds me of some other properties. So anyway, this is Giffany. This is the yandere girlfriend of Seuss, where she becomes obsessed with him, and yeah, classic yandere trope. I would say I don't really. It's just, you know, the yandere girlfriend. That's kind of it. I don't really care for her too much. She's just meant to like create, yeah, a conflict in the episode where Seuss is trying to meet someone to date, I guess. I think this is Robbie's dad, and I included his dad and mom for some reason, even though they're not that important. I don't know where the mom is. Here's the mom. Yeah, I don't really, the whole joke is that they're kind of like more cheerful than Robbie. Robbie's all like depressed and stuff, but they're more cheerful, even though I think they are kind of a bit unhinged, I want to say, or I don't know about unhinged, but I don't know. There was a quote where it's like, he said like, Robbie, go get me the sawed-off shotgun or something like that, so yeah, I don't know what's going on with them really, but don't really care for them. Grenda, I would give her probably B tier. She was entertaining. I think out of Mabel's friends, I liked her a bit more than Candy, just because again her like personality was very like aggressive and very, I don't know, just she had good lines here and there. She was much more enthusiastic about stuff compared to Candy, I would say, and so I did like her. I liked her a bit more compared to Candy, I would say, and overall, yeah, B tier character, I would say. Grunkle Stan, solid S tier. I think that he was great. Just yep. Why is it not working? S tier? Come on. There we go. Yeah, I think Grunkle Stan, fantastic character, very entertaining. Con man, always a entertaining, fun character to watch. A lot of good lines, a lot of good jokes. His relationship with not even just your Dipper, Mabel, I think is very good. His relationship with Ford is also very good. I think towards the end he does get a bit petty, where it's like the whole thing of like, okay, we can defeat Bill if it's like we come in we all like join together in the circle and hold hands and stuff, and it's like he like starts getting a bit petty in that moment where he's like, well, I want to thank you before I help you out and stuff. And it's like, okay, this doesn't seem like the time, but I guess it does fit with his character, which is very much self-centered. But even though it felt a bit, yeah, it felt like a bit, like at that moment it felt like very petty. So, but even so, I do still think that he is an S tier character, very, very entertaining, and just, yeah, S tier character. Pacifica Northwest, I would give her probably, I do like the character development, where at first she is kind of like the rival of Mabel specifically, and just by proxy she doesn't really like the Pines family, but then afterwards she, like in the episode specifically with the Northwest Mansion mystery, she does end up finding out, well no, like earlier on she finds out that her family is not, she ends up finding out like a lot of bad stuff about her family. It's like they didn't actually found Gravity Falls, they did like all these like shady deals in the past that got them into power and stuff, so overall, she finds out that her family legacy is not what she thought it was, and that her family are not really great people, and she does kind of redeem herself by letting the people into the Northwest Party, and from there she does start to like, she becomes like a bit of a better character, so I do like the character development. I would give her probably, she doesn't show up as much as I remembered the first time around. I would give her probably, not A tier, I'm going to give her like B tier, because yeah, I do remember she was a bit more of a prominent character. Like when you think the main character of the show, it's like Mabel, Dipper, Ford, Stan, Seuss, Wendy, and then I would think like after that, besides like maybe Mabel's friends, I would think that the next person would be Pacifica, but then she really doesn't, she's only in, I think like, she's a background character here or there, but there's only like 2 or 3 episodes that I think feature her as like the main kind of person of interest, I guess, of the episode. So yeah, she's honestly not as much in the show as I remember her being the first time around, but anyway. Waddles. Okay, now I usually don't really care for the pet type characters, but this is a great example of one that I absolutely love. I think that Waddles is fantastic. I'm gonna give him A tier. Yeah, just most pet characters, it's like they feel very forgettable. Waddles has like a presence to him. It's like where, I don't know, just the design of him. Here, another example of like how this show has like a lot of, this show, I guess, maybe this show inspires other shows. Maybe that's the case, because Waddles looks like a character straight out of We Bare Bears. So you got here, regular show, Cuphead, We Bare Bears, like just a lot of, this show probably, I'm assuming, maybe inspired a lot of properties after its time, I guess, because this came out in like the early 2010s. Cuphead was like, I think, late 2010s. We Bare Bears also like mid 2010s to late 2010s, I think. Regular show came out probably in the early 2010s as well, I'm pretty sure, so not sure about that, but anyway, yeah, Waddles, I would say A tier, great pet character, very memorable, and yeah, just A tier overall. This is the gnome. This is meant to represent, I guess, all the gnomes, unless maybe I included, yeah, I included Shmebulok, I guess. I'm going to put the gnomes and Shmebulok. I don't really care for them, so I'm just going to put them in D/F tier. Yeah, not the, don't really care, just some side characters that aren't too important. This cat dude, apparently voiced by Jon Stewart, which was pretty surprising. I did not recognize the voice, but yeah, this cat judge, not very memorable, to be honest. So I am just going to give D/F tier. I don't really remember. He just like was part of the court scene. Actually, you know what? He did have a few good lines here and there. So we'll go C for the cat. Yeah, C for cat, I would say. Yeah, a few good lines where I think, I don't know, Mabel's like objection, and then the cat was like overruled. I'm curious about this or something like that. He had a few good lines. He was, yeah, but like the court scenes were good, and he was part of the court scene. So we're gonna go C tier, I would say. Lazy Eye Susan, whatever her actual name is. I don't care for her too much. They kind of like tried to set her up as to be the love interest of Stan, I think, in an episode, but then she's just kind of forgotten, or not forgotten, but she doesn't really do much outside of that one episode. So she's just like another townsfolk from Gravity Falls, so I don't really care for her too much. She's voiced by, I think, Jennifer Coolidge is her name. So I do like that voice actress, I would say, but I don't really care for the character herself. This dude, as well as there's some other ones, this guy here, yeah, these are just the teens that Wendy and Dipper and Mabel hang out with, and I don't care for either of these two. They're pretty forgetful. And then there's also Thompson, where's Thompson? Thompson is, I can't find him at the moment. Did I include him? I think I should. Yeah, here's Thompson. He's the one that specifically lets everyone pick on him, so that way the group stays together. So it doesn't seem like the best friend group that they're all picking on him. So yeah. D slide up here. Gideon, I'm going to give him probably A tier. I think that he is entertaining. I would say, yeah, pretty good antagonist for the first season, and in the second season he does get like a bit of a redemption arc where he does do the right thing by helping out Dipper and like distracting Bill, I guess, while they go to save Mabel. So I do like the redemption sort of, I guess, that his character has. And yeah, just this very, it's like the character trope of like the really cute character, I guess, and he's not that cute, but the character that like portrays himself as being very, very, I don't know the word, very like unthreatening kind of, but then it turns out like he's actually very, very mean and stuff and evil, I guess. So yeah, that kind of character, I think he works. I think he's a good villain for season 1. I would say solid A tier. The Love God, voiced by John DiMaggio, who voices a lot of characters. Jake the dog from Adventure Time. He voices, I think, Bender from Futurama, as well as the Dolphman from Inside Job. So a lot of characters this dude voices, and this was another good character. I would say I'd give him like B tier. I thought that it was pretty entertaining, the episode where he is like mostly just trying to warn Mabel, like, hey, don't mess with this like love stuff, and then she does anyway. And then by the end of the episode, he doesn't try to like do any. By the end, he just like kind of gives up. He's like, you know what, screw this. So you deal with the consequences. So I thought it was entertaining for the episode he was in. So I'm gonna give B tier. Yeah. Next this is Wendy's dad. I'd give him C tier. He's a bit memorable. He's got like some good lines here or there, some good moments, but yeah, just not the best. I would just say C tier. Well, C for a quarter, I guess. This is the prince that I think ended up falling for Grenda, and he is not that memorable. He just kind of, yeah, the only thing he does is basically just say that he was attracted to Grenda's like over enthusiastic personality, and so that's it. He doesn't really do much. So is the person that ends up, I think Seuss ends up dating her. I forgot her name. Her name is, I kind of want to remember now. Seuss's girlfriend's Gravity Falls. What was her name? It's here. Melody. Yeah, Melody. I would give Melody probably, she's fine. She's only in the one episode really with the yandere girl. So besides that one episode where it's like Seuss ends up like meeting her and then realizing he doesn't need the video game in order to talk to women, and so he ends up, that ends up creating the conflict and stuff. But by the end of it, like, she's still cool with Seuss, and then I think they are probably still going out. So I'm pretty sure that there are like graphic novels that kind of continue the story of Gravity Falls. So at some point I may check those out, because maybe I'll like review them on the channel. I think it probably at some point in the past maybe I checked them out, but I don't remember if I did, then I don't really remember them at this point, so I might go back and review them for the channel, since if I do manga, then I might as well also do like graphic novels and stuff, so I should actually probably consider that. So I'll keep that in the back of my mind. Anyway, Mermando, this is the first, not the first crush, but this was like one of the main crushes of Mabel, and he was, I guess, both Mabel and I think by proxy also Dipper's first kiss, because Dipper gave him CPR, so he's alright. I don't really care for him too much, to be honest. His whole thing was that he just wanted to get back with his family, and I don't know, Mabel had a crush on him, and he, I think, also kind of liked her, but it didn't really go anywhere, so I'm just going to give him a D-slate review. I don't really care for him too much. This is Stan and Ford's dad. Not a great father. I do like the voice actor. It's the same person that voices Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, so that was cool. The character himself, the father, just not a great father, very strict and stuff, and I would give him like D-slash tier, not the best. This is the pool dude. The pool dude, I would give him probably C tier. He had some funny moments here and there. Yep, just very, side character, some good moments here and there, nothing much to say about him, C tier. This is Gideon's mom, not very memorable, doesn't really have any lines or anything, he's just like in the background shown to be a very hardworking mother and like very stressed out about just all the work that she has. This is Stan and Ford's mother, who I would give her probably D/F tier. I don't really care for either. Same with the father, like she barely shows up, but she also just seems like not a great parent, I would say so. Next is Multi-Bear. Multi-Bear, I would give him, I don't really care for him too much. He was in like the one episode with the Manitors, and then he shows up like towards the end, I think also in the conclusion, the Weird Mageddon final episodes, like as one of the members of the Resistance, I guess, so not really too memorable. This is one of the trick-or-treater kids. I included them for some reason. These were the kids that were not scared of anything until they accidentally saw Stan in his underwear about to shower, I guess. So not naked, so that's good, but yeah. The whole thing was just like they weren't scared of whatever Stan threw at them, so not the best, not really characters, just like for that one episode. This is the inventor that initially, he's the shapeshifter, but initially Dipper thought that this was the author of the journals, and he was wrong about that. This was the shapeshifter. I did like the episode itself. The episode itself was good. The character himself, the shapeshifter, did create some good tension. I'll just give him a C tier, I would say. These are the ghosts, the ghost old people that, yeah, they're married and they had a shop, and then it was ruined by teenagers, and they got heart attacks from listening to rap music or something like that. So they ended up dying, and then they haunted this convenience store, and so I don't really care for them too much. Just D/F here. Fiddleford McGucket, I think that's the name, something like that. I'd give McGucket, I'll go B tier. He's like very crazy and stuff, the crazy old dude. But then as the show progresses, like once you get into the later episodes, he actually becomes a bit more of an important character with his relation to Ford, as well as just like being aware of the mysteries of Gravity Falls, and he helps Dipper with like his investigation. And I do like the apology scene where it's like Ford and him reunite. I thought that was pretty good, so I'll just give him B tier, I would say. This is Dipika, not Pacifica's, yeah, Dipika's the ship name between Dipper and Pacifica. This is Pacifica's parents, and I don't care for them. They're not good people. They are just, rich, snooty type people that don't like the poor people, and those are not good types of people, so just D/F here. This is Probabilitor, voiced by Weird Al Yankovic, so I would give him probably, he was alright. I give him like C tier. I do like just, I know characters voiced by Weird Al Yankovic are usually entertaining, I would say. And I would just give him, yeah, C tier, just a fine character for the one episode, not the most memorable, but yeah. This is Quentin Tremblay, I think, the something 3/4 president, I think 9 3/4, that's a Harry Potter reference. No, he's the something president of the United States of America. I'd give him probably B tier. He was good for the episode, pretty entertaining, I would say. Not really too memorable, because he's only in the one episode. So Robbie, I'm gonna group both Robbie and Tambry together. Because I want to talk about the relationship. I don't think it feels morally wrong. I'm gonna put them like probably D/F here, because most of it, here, I'll just talk about the characters separately and then the relationship. Robbie's whole thing is just that he is like emo dude that he ends up like, he has like a rivalry going on with Dipper. They're both fighting kind of for Wendy's love. And yeah, then Tambry, she's just another one of the teenagers that's in the group with, the teenage group with like Wendy and Dipper, Maple and stuff. And she's obsessed with her phone and stuff. Anyway, so individually, I don't really care for either of them. When they're together, it feels really morally wrong, because I get the whole thing of, here, you have Mabel that causes them to fall in love, but then Mabel's like, maybe we shouldn't break them up, maybe we shouldn't keep messing with them. But it's like, they're in the state now that they've been altered. It's like, I think maybe what they should have done is like, they should have, I don't know, changed them back, and then let them, if they really were in love, then it's like they would stay together even if the love potion is no longer in effect. Like the fact that they're like, oh, they seem happy together. It's like, yeah, because they took it's like, because you gave them a love potion. So it feels kind of not the best that they're together, because it's like, it feels like it's not by their choice. It feels like they're kind of being forced to be together, to be together. So I do think that in that love episode, Mabel should have probably given them the antidote, and then like you could have shown them where it's like, okay, they realize that they're, I don't know, they start fighting or something, but then it's like, I don't know, they still like ask to, one of them says like, oh, you still want to hang out or something like that, and they're like, sure, something like that. They could have shown that maybe, okay, even after like the whole fight and stuff, they realize that they're not as bad as, I don't know. It shows, you could have like then started like a relationship from that, where it's like they realize, okay, they kind of bonded a bit, and now they're actually going to try to pursue a real relationship that's built on actual love and not just a love potion. So yeah, I don't really like the context of the relationship just because they're like kind of, because it's off of a love potion, so it doesn't feel genuine. So anyway, this is the fighter dude from the game in the one episode that Dipper fights. He's also like towards the end in Weird Mageddon, he shows up, so he's fine. I would give him like C tier, pretty memorable, because out of all the side characters, he feels like one of the most unique ones of being like a video game character, similar to, I guess, Giffany, but he actually feels a bit more, I don't know, Giffany, it's just like, I don't know, he just, I think she came after as well, so it's like, she feels a bit more like a ripoff. Like, we already had a video game character of him, and so her now, it's like a bit of a, yeah, bit of a, not a ripoff, but like, they definitely do something a lot different, but I think he's just more, I don't know, I just liked him more, I would say C tier, so. This is Sergey, the golf dude. I'd give him C tier. He had a few good lines in the golf episode. Yeah, he was the caddy, I think, for Pacifica, and just C tier. I give him several times. I would give them probably C tier. Again, some good lines here and there, but not anything too memorable. This is the reporter lady. Don't really care for her. Just D/F tier, I would say. Seuss, I'm going to give him S tier. He was hilarious. I think just all the Alex Hirsch voice characters, I think, are fantastic, honestly. Yep. Seuss, just another very entertaining character of like this dude. He is not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he is a very good, morally good dude. And he is just very entertaining, very funny, very wise in a lot of cases, and just definitely an S tier character. We're going S for Seuss, I would say so. This is Tad Strange, just some random side character, not important at all, don't care for him. This was the skull that I included for some reason from one of the Halloween story episodes, not important at all. This is the head with the arm. Voiced by apparently Louis C.K., so, and then I guess they redubbed it with Alex Hirsch's voice after all the controversy that happened with him, so I would give him, I'm gonna go C tier just because I like the lines of him, like where he does say, like, I don't know, it's funny, it's like he's like very much aggressively trying to convince people to let him eat them, which just comes off as funny for some reason. So this is the Summerween, right? It was Summerween, I'm pretty sure, or is that something from Phineas and Ferb? I'm not, I think it's from this. This is the Summerween trickster, whatever, the bad dude from Summerween, which is just, it turns out to be all the candy that gets rejected on Summerween. Yeah, I do like the design. The design here looks pretty intimidating and threatening, I would say, but the character himself, just the motive, it's not great, of just like, oh, no one wants to eat me, so I'm gonna eat all of you. It just doesn't feel, the episode was better than the actual character, I would say. The Time Baby, don't really care for too much, just ends up getting really easily beaten by Bill Cipher, and just, yeah, not great. Another character that kind of feels like they're from regular show, I'd say. This is Toby. I remember in the end he like renames himself to like Bodacious T or something like that. Toby the Bodacious, something like that. Toby something. Yeah, he's fine. I'd give him like C or B tier. We'll be generous. We'll go B for Bodacious because yeah, he was entertaining. I like the voice actor a lot. He has like some good lines here and there. And yeah, this is Tyrone. This is Dipper 2. And he's also meant to represent all the other Dipper clones. I'd give them probably just, not even C tier, I'm going to go like D tier. Yeah, I don't really care for them too much. They're just, in the one episode, they're fine. They're not very memorable, so D tier, I'm going to say. Wax statue, Larry King. He shows up like in the Wax episode, and I think also in the Resistance episode. He has a few good lines here and there, I think probably, so we'll go C tier. This is the Wax killer that tried to kill Stan, but accidentally kills the Wax statue. Sherlock Holmes, Wax statue, I don't really care for him too much, D/F tier. And then finally, Wendy. Wendy, I'm going to give her probably solid A tier. Yeah, just another great character that is part of the main cast of characters. I think it's interesting, I guess, the relationship stuff between Dipper and Wendy. It's like how she handles it, of like saying like, listen, it's like you're really cool to hang out with, but it's like she handled it well, I guess, like, or saying like, oh, I'm too old for you, it's like I can't be with you and stuff. So I think that was well handled. And just yeah, she's just another cool teen character, like her old personality is being very chill, very cool and stuff, and so fun character anytime that she is around, I would say. So yeah, we'll do side style. I guess we'll do for the, I'm not going to bother with the C tiers, there's a lot, and I'm just not going to bother. So we are going to do for the B, A, and S tiers. So starting off with the B tiers, we're going to go last place, I would say Toby, then we'll go with the Love God, then Quentin Tremblay, and then we'll go the Ghost, Bennett, or whatever his name was, Bendit, something like that. Ford McGucket. Then I'm going to move Pacifica down. I'm going to give her like, she really doesn't show up as much as I remember her showing up, so I'm going to put her like, maybe bottom of B2. I don't know. I do like the character development though, so it is a bit difficult. We'll put her like, I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's good. And then Grenda, I think that is also good. And then for the A tiers, we are going to go with probably last place. We'll say the Cops. I'm going to go with, yeah, I think I liked Blubs a bit more than Durland, I would say. Then we are going to go with Skylar, or Kevin and Zyler, or whatever their names were. I'm going to put them above. Actually, the Cops were a bit, like, they showed up a bit more, so I think here, we'll do that. We'll sandwich them in between these two Cops, I would say. Then for these, okay, the top 6 of A tier, we're going to go probably last. We'll say, yeah, we're going to go Waddles because he is just very voxelist, I would say. Then we're going to go Gideon. Then out of these 4, I'm going to say probably Mabel. Then Dipper. Then who's better, Wendy or Ford? That's a good question. I'm going to say, who do I like more, Wendy or Ford? I think, okay, we get a lot more time with Wendy, which is good, but Ford is a more important character, I would say. So I'm going to give it a Ford, but it's really close. You could swap them around, and I wouldn't disagree with you too much. So, yeah. And then for the S tiers, who is my least favorite, or who's my least favorite out of my favorites? I'm going to say probably Seuss. And then I'm going to say Bill Cipher, just because I think that he's very good, but he doesn't show up as much as, like, Grunkle Stan. And, yeah, Grunkle Stan, he just, actually maybe, I don't know, maybe Bill Cipher will put it. Now we're going to put, okay, Seuss, he's really good, very entertaining and stuff. Bill Cipher, just because of how unique he is, like, just very unique and a great threat in the show. And then finally, we're going to say Grunkle Stan, just because he's a calm man, he's funny, he's entertaining, got good character relationships all around. Just overall, he's my favorite character, I would say. And so, yeah, I'm going to say that, yeah, this is my ranking. We'll just get a quick shot here. This is my ranking of all of the Gravity Falls characters. And so, yeah, if you have any recommendations, any shows, movies, video game stories, anime, manga, web series, anything that you want me to review or rank or compare rankings, it does not have to be media related, it could be anything. Leave it in the comments and I'll maybe possibly check it out. With that said, that is pretty much all there's to it, so let's leave it at that.